Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the great, wonderful, magnificent. Welcome to the RV. When I'm not on a ship, I'm in the RV. Yeah, Duncan. She's a good girl. Take off the ship hat. And Benji, I hope you're watching, pal. We're going to put on the RV hat. Check that out, huh? Thank you, Benji, for the cool hat. Hobo Joe was my nickname on a ship, so my pal Benji had to get me a hat for it. Anyway, what better way to start off the RV videos with the maiden voyage of the RV? So, back in 2018, bought the RV, and 2 days later, left Jersey and headed to Cali to figure out everything on the way. But yeah, the maiden voyage of the RV. Let's go. After running around like maniacs, we finally jumped in the RV and headed to Route 80, which would take us right into Chicago. Okay, in Chicago, we hit the Ultra Fresh Beer Festival, which was freaking awesome. Really good time. Then we had a slice, which the pizza wasn't bad, but it's still not Jersey. And then just by dumb luck, we stumbled across the Bean on the way back to the RV. And speaking of which, we actually parked in a bus parking lot for the convention center, which was awesome because we were like right in downtown. So from Chicago, we would jump on Route 90, and that would take us all the way up into the Badlands. But on the way, we would stop at the Spam Museum and the Corn Palace. I mean, how can you not stop at those places? When you drive through Wisconsin, there's literally cheese everywhere. Gas stations, liquor stores. I mean, if there was a Toys R Us, there'd be cheese in the Toys R Us. Rest in peace. Garrett, if you're wondering, this is where we signed you up for your spam recipe emails. Yeah, there's no sugarcoating it. The Corn Palace is it's a weird place. Busy for a weekday, but weird place. Don't get me wrong, it's totally worth checking out. Just weird. The Badlands just appear out of nowhere. It goes from super flat farmland to the Badlands. Pretty gnarly. You have to stop at Wall Drug on the way out. It has to be worth it for all the billboards they put up, right? From there, we would hit Mount Rushmore, go through the Black Hills, stop at Devil's Tower, and then head straight through Powder River Pass, right into Yellowstone. Not gonna lie, it was cool to see Mount Rushmore, but the gift shop was totally better. The real treat was being able to camp in the Black Hills, spending a night in the woods, the quiet, campfire, It was really nice. Next morning, we just chilled out, spent the day in some mountain lake, just relaxed. Nikki makes it look easy, but I'm way too top heavy to stand up paddleboard, or whatever the hell it's called. Devil's Tower was beautiful. Shout out to our buddy Jack from Texas, the rattlesnake hunter, who tried his very hardest to take our picture. And Devil's Tower was the first place where we emptied the black tank. Nice memory. Thought it was bad going up Powder River Pass, but it was much worse going down. We had to stop a couple times to give the brakes a rest. Scary stuff. So we entered Yellowstone through the east entrance, went north up to Mammoth Hot Springs, then back down where we boondocked in West Yellowstone for the night. The next day we saw Old Faithful, then shot down the parkway to the Grand Tetons. Yellowstone is just as magical as you hear. The wildlife is just out of control. It's insane. Bison are like squirrels out there. They're just everywhere. The coolest thing though was having the mama bear and her two cubs walk right in front of the RV. I don't know what this says about my character, but that night I was really craving a bison burger. You know, it's just my luck that the next morning I would have to drive through a whole herd of buffalo with their caps and with their judging looks. After checking out Old Faithful, we jumped on the John D. Rockefeller Jr. Memorial Parkway. It's quite the name for a 30-mile stretch of road. It was super exciting to get to the Grand Tetons. One, because it's beautiful, but also because this would be the longest place we would stay on the whole trip. So we rode our bikes to the lodge to grab dinner and a drink, And that's where we met our man Patrick, who's riding his bike cross country. That night, Patrick came back to camp and we had a fire with him and our neighbors. Laughs, beers, good times all around. The next day, we rented a boat and spent the majority of the day just hanging out on the lake. So the plan was that we would leave the Grand Tetons and head straight to Salt Lake City. But after discovering Jackson Hole, we had to at least spend one night here. We walked around town for a little bit, had some Wyoming pizza, then finished up the night at the $1 Million Cowboy Bar. The bar was a cool place, really cool. They had all kinds of cowboy stuff on the walls. The bar stools were horse saddles. They even had, I think, a special kind of whiskey. Very cool. It was also a nice treat meeting the Kellys and spending a night playing pool with them and having some laughs. Once we left Wyoming, we shot south. We would eventually end up outside Moab, boondocking on some BLM land.
RV to get washed? Was it all curled down?
The next couple days we would spend exploring canyonlands and arches, both right outside Moab.
The garbage bag still there? Did it fall out? Yeah, these are good, babe.
Gotta have the Jersey pride no matter where you go.
That's right.
We got stuck in a pretty gnarly traffic jam leaving Arches, but we found a way to pass the time. Seeing so many national parks, you really understand why this is protected land. It's just, they're all so beautiful in their own way. After Utah, we would head to Vegas, and that's where Nikki would fly home, and I will continue on to San Diego. Having less than 3 weeks across the country, I think we did a pretty good job. We saw some really cool places, some really funky places. We met a bunch of cool people along the way. Definitely a trip of a lifetime. Not a bad maiden voyage for the RV.
Have fun, do not die. Go ahead.